Hello and welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new. Today I am building a ranch style home in Sims 4. This is for the family that I'm currently playing with. I do have a let's play on my channel. I will link the playlist for those videos down below. Hopefully you enjoy the silly little videos I've made with this family so far. If you haven't seen the episodes, I recommend watching them. It really determined the style of this home. I had this whole thing of wanting to get a cow. I basically married a woman to get said cow, and so it developed into me living a ranch life, or a range life if you're a pavement fan. This house is sort of based on an Australian farm home as opposed to, I guess, an American style, if that makes sense. This is very much a house that I would have seen in my hometown growing up, surrounded by sheep and just sitting in the middle of a paddock, essentially. So the roofing was a huge point of contention for me, but trying to make it an Australian home sort of made the roof make more sense, because our roofing in Australia is hectic. A lot of houses have ridiculous verandas and very heavily shaded areas, hence why the roofing ends up being huge. I know that my family home growing up had a weirdly shaped roof, and I think it's just common in the area. Especially during summer, you want a big roof to sort of draw the heat up and give a lot of cover to the home. So enough about the roof. I'm sick of looking at it and thinking about it. So we're moving on to windows now. I tried out a lot of different styles with the windows, and I think I actually did pretty well with them. I ended up using a couple of different styles, but in the same colorway, where they've got the white border with the brown sort of inside sill. I don't know what that's called in the middle of a window. Pane. It's a window pane. Or is the pane the glass? I personally have no idea. Anyway, I do put lights in eventually so I can see what I'm doing and so you guys can see what I'm doing. But I don't do that until like 2 rooms in, which is kind of frustrating, but it's fine. I then had to change this layout and make it more even, because the door not in the center of the windows was driving me a bit crazy. And then I tried finding a window that fit this little triangular roof bit, but none of the angles were right and none of the triangle windows were the right shape. It was really frustrating. Then I was looking for pillars for the outside, sort of as like a structural vibe to hold up the roof. This is where the roof starts to look weird again, but again, in Australia, you do need that shade. It gets very hot here. So if I'm basing this off an Australian home, it's going to have a weird roof. That's just the way that it is, unfortunately. I actually don't mind how it ended up looking in the end, but I hate how the house looks from one side. It looks ridiculous, but from the front, and this angle isn't too bad, it's the other side that's awful. This is the angle of the house that I hate. Ooh, I do not like that angle. Anyway, putting more pillars in the back, and then I am not adding a fencing back, and I'm not adding stairs. And I just hope that my Sims can actually walk up that. I've only just realised that now, that maybe they do need a step. If they do need a step, I'll add it in, obviously. Otherwise I won't be able to play in the house. So, and these pillars are really annoying me. My depth perception was awful. I don't know what was going on. I also forgot to record a little bit when I did the path. Basically, I just have the square, path tool. I don't know the names for anything in this game. I basically have the square path tool and just lightly drag it over the area just to slowly build it up and make it look like an actual walkway, like people have walked there naturally. Then I tried matching the foliage around the house to what I was going to have in our garden, but the cottage living pack doesn't actually come with the, I guess, external plants. So I was struggling to actually match some of this and ended up using some base game plants that were sort of similar enough. I try to match the house and the plants to the rest of the neighborhood. I actually don't know if I've done that here because I think a lot of the houses in cottage living or like in that world actually are made of brick, and I haven't done that. This dirt is the only dirt I ever use, and it's the only one that looks good. The rest of them are very red or they're too light. And I also started doing this recently where you put the dirt under the exterior of the home and like any fences and stuff. Makes it look a bit more realistic to a home. I think the people that build the houses for Sims actually do this under the homes as well. I think that's where I got that trick from. The little lighting for outside, I forgot to do lighting in the back, but I'm pretty happy with how it looks at the front. I'm also looking now for, yep, there it is, an accent in the front garden, just for a bird bath. Again, you find them in Australia all the time. We love our birds. Putting in some plants on the veranda, nice and big ones. I tried putting smaller plants in and it looked a bit silly. Sorry, that was my dog shaking her head because her collar was annoying her. I don't know if you heard that. Yeah, picking another chair. Just, I don't like a lot of the outdoor furniture in Sims 4. Am I allowed to say that? I have some of the outdoor packs and they still don't look good. Like I have backyard stuff and the patio one where you get the hot tub. I have those packs and I still feel like the furniture outdoors is lacking. Moving to inside, I'm like place holding some doors. I don't use these doors as the actual ones. I end up replacing them with a darker door because it matches the rest of the house. The house does end up being a bit dark. I use a lot of wood, and yeah, it's a very brown home. You can see now I'm doing wood in the bathroom, which I don't know how I feel about that in real life. More so for like an actual bathroom where you have like a shower and stuff. Having wood would be pretty crazy, just because of the humidity and the moisture. But I think in a powder room, maybe it's fine. I try a couple of different wall options here as well, but I don't like them. And I end up going with my trusty dusty Parenthood tiles and like skirting board thing panels. I think they're panels along the bottom, but I love this wallpaper. Anytime I have a chance to use it, I do, pretty much. I really like the stuff that came with the Parenthood pack. Like even the counters and the sink, I'm pretty sure that I use here is from Parenthood. It just came with a lot of good objects. I don't think I play with the mechanics that much except for the pop-ups that come from when your kid goes to school. But yeah, just really love the items in that pack. Picking some lighting now. I go with a bit of a sconce, but like a droopy one. And I have an off-center, which I think is a bit fun. Because usually when you load into a home in Sims, the light in the bathroom is always above the mirror. And I'm always like, in real life, that would be so annoying, trying to look at yourself in the mirror and there's just a light in the way. I am putting a wardrobe in the lounge room, which might seem a bit strange, but our linen cupboards in Australia sometimes are just out in the open or like in mini little hallways. I don't know why that is. It just is. And then yeah, putting wood for the bedroom. I basically put wood in every room of the house except for, I can't remember if the kids' room has wood and the garage definitely doesn't and the laundry doesn't, or the bathroom. So I don't really put wood in every room. I kind of lied there. It's probably like 50-50 tile and wood. Yeah, changing all the doors now to be dark brown so it fits with the scheme a bit better. I probably should note all the furniture lying everywhere is from my old Sims house, and I thought I could make it work in the new space, but it wasn't quite the vibe. It was just a little bit too colourful. Again, I was sort of leaning into this brown, ranchy vibe. And the greens still work, I'll give them that. But I had a lot of like yellow, bright furniture and paintings and stuff that I ended up not liking in this space for some reason. Yeah, the house isn't as cluttered as I would typically make a home. Usually if I'm building in Sims, I'm not actually playing in the house, but I am playing in this one, and I would like to see every room of the house where possible. I also have a gripe with the mirrors in Sims 4, because why are some of them super high and some of them are super low? Like, they forgot the height of the Sims in the game when they were making some of these mirrors, I swear to God. Anyway, this bathroom ends up being pretty luxurious for a ranch, I will say. I'm taking a long time picking a rug, but the bath I think is pretty expensive. And then I think the sinks have like a marble top to them, which is insane. And I also put a telly in the bedroom because, again, very common for us here. This is our little laundry. It's teeny tiny, but it is still functional. I think I probably should play test it, but I haven't yet. So we'll see if this is just for decoration or not. But I love the laundry pack. The laundry pack, I don't know what it is. It brings more realism into the game. In saying that, the Bust the Dust kit, I think it is, also brings realism into the game, but I don't want to vacuum in Sims. Doing laundry, I don't know. I don't know what the difference is for me, but doing laundry is like more fun, you know? Thinking about laundry isn't as bad. Thinking about dust in the house, that's where I draw the line. It's too much. Anyway, I'm onto the kitchen now. The kitchen remains pretty neutral, but it does have pops of green in it. I also tried to put more decorations in the kitchen, but I just didn't really like what was going up on the walls. I don't know, I feel like because the walls have the paneling on them, it's like that's kind of enough. Putting in my little bar stools. I sort of went away from the wood for this one because it was getting too brown. It was getting too dark. I was getting a bit sick of it. But I don't know how I feel about the stove fan being just out in the open either. I feel like maybe I should have put cupboards on the wall where the fridge is. But it's not too late now. I can always change it in game. But we're on to the infant's room. His name is King, and my family's last name is Money. So his name is King Money, which I thought was hilarious at the time. Yeah, his nursery ends up being very bland. A little bit millennial grey, if you will. That kind of vibe. Very minimalist. Very, I give my children toys that are grey and devoid of colour. It gives that kind of vibe, which I'm not a fan of. But I also am not a fan of infants in this game because they're very often broken. I have never been able to play successfully with an infant or a toddler because they're always broken. I don't know if it's like that for everyone, but basically every time I have a baby in the game, I just don't exist at home. I think in the current Let's Play, I've been hanging out at the gym instead of being at home and looking after my baby because it frustrates me. And it's not frustrating in a way where they try to make the game hard. It's just because it's broken. Anyway, this is his nursery. Doing the other bathroom now, I'm basically just copying everything over from the powder room or the master bath. Okay, moving on to the spare bedroom now. It turns out to be quite a feminine bedroom, but I kind of don't mind it. I do have a running joke that there's not a man allowed in this house, so it kind of does make sense for it to be a bit more femme. I think I also put a rug down that I'm not too fond of. I think I put a blue one down for like a bit of contrast, and I end up not really liking it, but I got sick of looking at rugs. Like, a lot of the time that I'm building this house, it's me trying to decide on a rug. And quite frankly, I was getting over it. I'd had enough. It was very exhausting. Moving on to the office. This room is tiny, but it's fine. Basically, I think my wife in the game is in the tech career, so she needed a computer to program on. And then I thought I may as well just make it into a study. And then if we have a third kid, they can just have a tiny little bedroom. Trying to find a bookshelf that fits this room was weird because it was like, it wasn't an even amount of tiles, I don't think. And so the bookshelves couldn't be like duplicated if they were 2 squares big, if that makes sense. I'm deciding on a pretty light. I think this light does not suit the vibe at all, but it's fine, I guess. And then I think I put that lamp in that I really like, and yeah, just trying to make it look lived in and homely but not cluttered was a bit of a challenge, but I think I did okay. Moving on to the lounge now. I am aware that those are 2 different lounge suites, but I kind of like the different tones of brown. Like, if you're making a whole brown house, the tones have to be a bit different. Deciding on a coffee table was kind of annoying too. A lot of the woods in this game just do not match, even though there's so many wooden objects. I don't know how I feel about the TV either. I couldn't afford the super big one that I had up there for like 2 seconds, and the one that's up there now looks a bit small. So I think what I want to do is, once my Sims make a bit more money, get the bigger TV but size it down by 1 bracket, just so it fits on the wall a bit nicer. Again, picking out a rug, struggling to pick out a rug, taking forever to pick out a rug. I think I just really struggled because it was just a lot of brown. But again, I kind of like the vibe. Like, it's a big cabiny, you know, like you're in the middle of nowhere, which is the dream, actually. I am living vicariously through my Sims. This little table I do like. I'm pretty sure it's from My First Pet stuff, which is a waste of a pack, except for that table and the little hamster gerbil rat cage you can get, which I think I might get for my child when they age up. Doing the little dining nook now. Again, brown, wood. What more could you want? I'm putting in lighting as well. I was going to put in a bigger chandelier, and it was just too distracting. It was too much. So I had to revert back to the old faithful light, which I've been using throughout the whole build. This is my favourite room in the house. This is the garage, which instead of putting a fake car in it, I turned it into like a man cave, but for lesbians. So it's got the bar. I also put in pottery objects, like so you can actually do ceramics. And then I think I also put in an easel. And then I remembered the existence of the bubble blower, which I have obviously put in here. And I do like what I do here. I put 4 different chairs down, and they're all like mismatchy. Sort of the vibe of like when you go to a mate's place for drinks and you sit on outdoor furniture, but it's like an old couch that has holes in it. That's very quintessentially Australian as well. Back in the house now, I'm putting stuff down for my dog in Sims, and she finally gets a bed inside. So I put one in the master bedroom, and then I get rid of the lamp in the lounge room, and she has a little corner in there as well, which is nice. There's my little shed for my cow, but every time I go to put the cow down from my inventory, it's like, you need to put this on the right surface, and I don't know what that means. So I am going to have to look that up before I start playing again. I did successfully get the chooks over though, which is nice. I also put in a fire pit, and I put in hay bales to sit on, which is also what you would do out in the country in Australia. So I think I've not done too bad trying to recreate a house that would be in my hometown. I think I've done quite alright. I put in a bit more furniture on the veranda at the back, and then I think I put another dog bed there too. And I think once I log on to play, I also want to put a dog bed in the garage for her to hang out in. But that is the completed house. These are just some silly little photos. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this voiceover has been bearable. It's the first one I've ever done, believe it or not. Subscribe for more, and I will link the playlist with my Let's Play down below. Thanks.